Far more than we think. Making Sense of Spirituality by Angelo. Chapter 40. Karma Chameleon. The idea of karma has been a cornerstone of spiritual beliefs since ancient times, as well as such sayings as "you reap what you sow" and "what goes around comes around," which are part of everyday modern language. Although many of us may feel that karma is intrinsically true, there remains perhaps a feeling that it's difficult to prove and that it might not apply to us. Once we understand the spiritual laws and start applying them in our own lives, it rapidly becomes apparent that karma is not only a reality, but it's inescapable. We transmit energy into the unified field, and the universe responds accordingly. Pretending to be nice to others for selfish ulterior motives may fool some people, but it will not fool the universal energy of life. There's no hiding place. The boomerang will always eventually come back. Chameleons are a type of lizard, and some of the species have the amazing ability to change their skin colour for the purposes of social signalling and camouflage. Human beings often adopt similar traits by seeking to achieve social acceptance and hide their true nature by behaving in false, manipulative and insincere ways. The ego is always simultaneously trying to hide its own weakness and exploit the world at large for its own selfish purpose. Many acts of service, kindness and generosity are underpinned by vainglorious motives. I can say all this because I can be as much of a chameleon as the next person. I spent most of my life behaving as a chameleon, and I cannot emphasize enough the utter relief and joy of finally being comfortable in my own skin. My beliefs are now rooted in spiritual principles, and most of the time my thoughts and actions are sincere. I say most of the time because this is work in progress, and it probably always will be. Our beliefs not only shape how we perceive our experience of the world, they control our thoughts, and these thoughts are completely visible to the universe. It seems that they are entirely visible whether we want them to be or not. Every thought, as well as every action, effectively goes into our karmic bank account and will have implications for our lives sooner or later. Energies associated with acceptance, gratitude, surrender, humility, non-judgment, forgiveness, compassion and unconditional love are considered to result in good karma and will be returned in kind. Negative energies such as intolerance, jealousy, greed, resistance, pride, judgment, resentment, anger, revenge and hatred obviously lead to bad karma and, likewise, will return to us in some way. This is the way the universe operates. This is not a law that we can break and then hope that we will get away with it. No amount of ingenuity, money, material possessions or willpower will protect us against the inevitable consequences of our negative thoughts and actions. This may sound rather threatening and controlling, but it's not intended to be. This is not a matter of judgment and retribution by some unseen cosmic power, but simply a straightforward theoretical explanation of how karma works. Bad karma will result in bad things happening to us, and good karma will generally result in good things. There's no point in trying to cheat the system, because the system is infallible. We may win the odd battle here and there, but we will inevitably lose the war if we have bad karma. Our egos will tell us that we are special and different and that the rules do not apply to us, but our egos are horribly mistaken. There are no exceptions. Some people seem to lie and cheat and get away with it, but the consequences will ultimately come back to haunt them in some way. We really do reap what we sow. We also know a lot of good, honest, decent people who become victims of undeserved bad luck, and this seems to undermine the whole idea of karma. I admit that this is problematic, but my own belief is that on balance, good karma will always prevail. A spiritual approach to life is no guarantee of immunity from natural disasters, health problems, or the selfish and inexplicable behaviour of others, but it does provide an accepting and loving way to react to the circumstances of life that may befall us, even if they do seem undeserved. Once we know the rules of the game, life can quickly become far more enjoyable. Once we realise that there are no secrets and that behaving as a chameleon is not going to fool the system, there's no reason not to be totally honest with ourselves and with others. Instead of generating bad karma through our persistent negative thoughts and behaviours, we instead choose to transmit good karma at all times. As well as daily spiritual practice intended to bring about longer-term change and growth, we can choose positive thoughts and behaviours in every moment of every day. We can choose to be nice to people, even when we're not in the best of moods. A smile and a kind word cost nothing, but the payback can be priceless. Walking down the street, happily smiling and making eye contact with everyone is a completely different experience from walking along with a scowl on our face and thinking negative thoughts. This is the basis for the next suggestion in daily practice. It's along the same lines as the chapter on good vibrations, but here the suggestion is specifically to go out of your way to be nice to people as often as possible. Don't judge some as more deserving than others. Simply spread good karma wherever you go. We can be as nice and friendly to the traffic warden who's giving us a ticket as we can to the lovely person who is washing and styling our hair. We transmit good karma to everyone, not only because they deserve it as fellow human beings, but because we deserve the positive consequences that our behaviour will inevitably bring sooner or later. The karma chameleons are not authentic and are likely to bring upon themselves that which they are truly thinking. Conversely, the spiritual person with good karma is more likely to experience all that is good in the world. As usual, the choice is ours, and ours alone to make.